Right. So I did a Bugout Bag video before the holidays, and I ended up getting a lot of stuff, making additions to my Bugout Bag, as well as my everyday carry. So what I'd like to do now is do a bit of an update on my Bugout Bag as it stands right now. And I consider this my year-round Bugout Bag. I do make minor additions and updates to it throughout the year, depending on what the seasons are, so that I'm always... But the gist of it is right here, and this is what is always sitting in my Bugout Bag and ready to go. My bag, first of all, is it's a mossy oak. It's got it's a nice bag. It's lightweight, very lightweight. It's got a steel frame. It's got a steel cross frame inside it and stuff, so it doesn't lose its shape. It's got a nice spot underneath for stuff. I usually keep an extra knife or pepper spray, bear spray in there, but it sits nice. It actually, the bag itself is really good because it offers a strap up top as well as below, which I find very helpful for like making additions if you want to put stuff on it and stuff. So yeah, so that's my bag that I use, and I'm gonna get into what I keep in my Bugout Bag. So there's a bag. All right. First things first. Something that people don't think of is I keep a dry pair of socks and a t-shirt and a pair of underwear, well, boxer shorts, at all times in my Bugout Bag, and I fold them up a certain way. I keep just an ordinary pair of Hanes boxer shorts. Nothing spectacular or unique about them. They're just a normal Roots, lightweight Roots t-shirt that you find at any store that carries Roots, or it doesn't necessarily have to be Roots. It could be whoever makes shirts that you like, I suppose. So there's that, and yeah, and then I keep socks. I keep a pair of socks, dry socks, because you get stuck out and about and you don't have any socks or anything. Your feet get dry, your feet get wet, you want them to be dry. You don't want to be running around in this situation with wet feet. So I always keep a change of socks, a t-shirt, and a pair of underwear in my Bugout Bag, just in case. So yeah, and I just keep it like that. So it's really easy to maintain it like that. I'm going to lay that out right there. Next, I keep just a normal 2-liter bottle, empty pop bottle with water in it. Just enough to, keep me hydrated till I figure out what I'm going to do afterwards. Or, I keep some water in the truck at all times as well, along with a number of other survival items. Maybe I'll do a video on that at some point too, what I carry in the truck at all times. Next, I have a nice handy gadget that I picked up at I think at the dollar store perhaps. What it is just a normal. It's got a compass on it, a nice glow-in-the-dark compass. It's got a waterproof little pouch inside that you can put stuff in to keep dry, like matches or whatever. I don't keep any matches in it right at this point in time, but it also has a flint on the side for striking, and you could take anything metal and strike it and get a spark, right? I'm not going to bother to right now, but it's got a signaling whistle as well, and a rope to keep it on something. So there's that. Next I have a nice handy knife that I keep. My wife actually got me this for Christmas. It's nice. It's really lightweight. I think the handle might be some type of alloy. It's a really light metal, whatever it is, but it took a few tries to get it a little to where I like to have it easy to snap open, but once I got it, you know, so that it's good, it opens no problem. Up here, I'm in Canada, so switchblades, snap open ones and stuff, they're illegal, so we don't have those. What we do have are lock blades, and very little effort to open it. You can do it with one hand, no problem. So that's my knife. That's my small knife. That's what I have. Next, I have a nice little multi-tool that I keep. I got this at a dollar store, actually. It's a nice multi-tool. It's got a nice set of pliers in it. It keeps pliers. It's keeping a small blade in it, as well as a saw, a can opener, a Phillips screwdriver, another screwdriver, a flathead, I'm not sure what that is, and another small blade, and a file as well. So all very useful tools to have on you, and as I said, it folds open and into a set of pliers as well. So that is a really handy tool, and I don't see them anymore. I picked it up probably about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago now, and I'm glad that I did, because I don't see them anymore. A lot of times up here, when stuff shows up in the discount stores, they only have it for a certain amount of time. They don't know when they're going to get it back, or even if they get it back. So when I see survival items, I tend to pick them up and make sure that I do it in a timely manner so that I'm able to get one before they're gone. Next, I have what most people may not think to put in their Bugout bag, but I do, is two canisters of hand sanitizer, which is very good to have. It's an alcohol-based hand sanitizer, and it kills germs, anything like that. You know, if you do have to do any type of field medic type stuff, if somebody's injured or something, you don't want, and you don't have clean water right on hand, this is the next best thing to have to decontaminate any tools or your hands before you do something. Next, I keep, if I can get into it here, I want to show you. It's something that I keep, that I've always kept in my Bugout bag since the first time, and that is just a small cheap Bic and a candle. And there's a lot of uses for one of these, and they're something that, you know, I'd rather have it and not need it, right, than the alternative, which is to need it and not have it. So yeah, I keep that and that in a bag, and I usually put it in the bag together, then I twist it, fold it in over itself, twist it again, fold it in over itself again. So just to, you know, for that extra level of protection against any type of moisture that may get into your bag, because you'd be surprised how well that works at keeping stuff dry when you have a Bugout bag out in the woods with you. I keep a bag full of trail mix, Nature Valley trail mix bars. They are what I just said they are. They're just, you know, there's about 10 of them in there. I keep those. They'll fucking pretty much last for a long time before you'd have to change them out, and I always keep a lot in the house, but I keep about 10 or so in a bag in my Bugout bag at all times in case I have to grab it and go, right? I have those, as well as I keep 2 boxes of layer bars. These are crazy good for you know, like a bug-out scenario. These here are just like, they're so full of like nutrients and stuff and calories for the size of them and the space that they take up. Even with the box and everything, they're invaluable. And if you don't have food and you have these, you're good for a minute until you get something on the go. And as a backup, I keep a small bag of soup mix that I put in that under part of my Bugout bag, the bottom. I keep a small bag of soup mix, plus I keep another bigger bag of soup mix as well, and it's just like an instant soup that you would find in it's just a mixture in a bag of instant soup. That's all it is, and it's another form of nourishment that you could have. That's a bigger bag there that I keep, and I keep that, it's in a plastic bag inside, plus I keep this one as a backup. So that would be, and I keep 2 just beef jerky sticks in there for an added level of protein to my foods. So that's my food right there that I keep in my box at all times. I keep around that much. Next, I keep, now in case of, you know, any type of viral outbreak, H1N1, some type of mutated H1N1 virus. I know not everybody has access to a gas mask, and it's not, you know, it's not feasible to expect everyone to have access to them. They are expensive to get a hold of. Some people can't get a hold of them. What I keep is a whole stack of these just disposable Kimberly-Clark brand gas masks. Just enough for my family and I, if we had to travel in an area where, you know, that would be a concern, coming into contact with an airborne, some type of airborne pathogen, contagion, what have you. And on top of those, I always keep a nice big stack of alcohol wipes as well, for sterilization purposes as well. They're invaluable to have, and it doesn't take anything to throw a few in a bag and keep them in your Bugout bag. Like, why wouldn't you if you could? It's not going to hurt anybody to keep them. And you never know, right? You might need these things. And that's, you know, none of us are hoping that this is going to happen, but if it ever does happen, I want to be able to say that I'm prepared for, you know, a certain amount of things to go wrong, and one of them would be like some type, like I said, some type of airborne pathogen or viral situation. Next, I keep my roll of duct tape that I always have to have, and I don't have to explain to anyone why this is a necessity in anyone's Bugout bag. And I've seen videos where guys put lengths of it on credit cards to keep. I actually used to do that myself at one point. I don't have it any longer because now I just stepped up my game and kept a whole roll in it instead. So I keep a roll of duct tape in my Bugout bag as well, and it's invaluable. These here are bungee cords. I keep a mobile shelter in my Bugout bag, so I figured why not keep some bungee cords as well for purposes. They could be for a number of purposes. I have a rack on top of my truck, so if I had to, you know, strap anything down to the top of the truck, or for building a shelter, these are good to have as well, in lieu of any length of rope. So yeah, I keep those. I keep a good half dozen or so of bungee cords. Next, I keep a stash of zip ties in my Bugout bag, and I keep them for the same purpose. They're They're disposable. You're not going to miss them if you end up using them, or if you have to use them in a scenario where you're not going to be able to get them back. You're not going to miss them. They're fairly disposable. You can get a hold of them pretty much anywheres, and they're easy to get a little bag of them and keep some in your Bugout bag. I just fold them in half, put a rubber band around it, and put one of the zip ties to hold the other end together, and you've got them. They could be used, if you're being attacked and you have to, maybe you had to subdue a group of people and have them, in a situation where you want them incapacitated to a certain extent. In lieu of handcuffs, you can always use zip ties, right? They're not easy to break if you have to use them. So yeah, there's those. I keep a roll of Scotch tape, just because. Next, I keep my flashlight. I know obviously you're not able to see how good it works because I'm in the light, but it does work really well, and you always have to have a flashlight in your Bugout bag. And next, I keep a canister of pepper spray. Actually, this is part of my everyday carry as well. I don't think it's out here. I think I left my everyday carry in my combat cargo shorts I was wearing today. But yeah, I carry one of these with me every day as well. I don't carry a knife, and a lot of people may disagree with not carrying a knife in your everyday carry. I'm opposed to it just because I don't want to end up in a situation where if I feel threatened, I'm going to use it, and I'd rather use something like this that just incapacitates someone enough for me to be able to get away from them and take myself and my family out of the situation, as opposed to having to end someone because they wanted to get stupid. So in my Bugout bag, I carry this, and in my everyday carry, I also carry a canister of this. And my wife carries one of these in her purse too, so tell your friends, motherfuckers, this is where it's at. Next, I have it's a gas mask, and it's Canadian military gas mask, is what it is. It's a C7A. It's a C7A canister. So yeah, it's a really good, really good gas mask to have. I've mucked around with it a little bit and tried it out, put it on, and this and that, and I honestly don't have any complaints about it. It's got a good it's got a mesh back to it. As you can see, it's like a full head, like a hood type thing, and it has it's got a straw on the inside here for drinking out of. What you do when you have it, you take this and you unhook it from here, and you insert this into whatever your hydration device is, be it one of these or a more high-end hydration device like a bladder for your back. You insert that into it, and you can suck your water in through a straw on the inside of this. I'm not sure if the camera can actually get a look at that, but there is a straw in there. So there's that, and what I'll do is I'll put it on so the kids at home can see what it looks like. So that's what's up. And as I said, put the back on it. And you know, heaven forbid that anything like this ever is necessary, but I'm telling you, if the shit ever does hit the fan, I'll be really glad that I have something like this in my Bugout bag. I picked it up on online, just a private sale online. Somebody had one, they sold it, and I bought it, and I'm glad I did because it's a nice addition to my Bugout bag. Next, I have, my uncle actually got me this for Christmas. It's another flashlight. This one is a headlamp style flashlight that can go over hats or whatever, but yeah, it's a hands-free, obviously, so yeah, there's one of those as well in there. Here what I have is I have a couple of garbage bags wrapped up and folded tightly with a rubber band. So I do keep a rain poncho in my Bugout bag, but I also have a couple of these as backup rain ponchos for someone, or there's a lot of uses for garbage bags. If you have to cross a river or some type of waterway and you don't want to get everything you have soaked, there's always, you can always put them in a garbage bag to cross with. So I keep a couple of those in my Bugout bag. Something that my wife picked up for me, jump-ins. I think it was last year I got this from my wife. And it's a Tim McWelch book. It's called How to Survive Anything, and it goes over a number of, on the back it says it's your complete survival guide. And it covers a lot of different shit hitting the fan scenarios. It covers everything from animal attacks to heavy weather to a zombie apocalypse or a viral outbreak of any type. So it goes over any scenario you could possibly imagine and what steps you could take to ensure the safety of you and those that you care about during any type of scenario. So for anyone out there that's looking for some type of literature that's some type of reference material for themselves, this is worth picking up. Yeah, so there's that. Next, I have my it's a machete. Actually, I don't know if you classify it as a machete or a big knife, whatever it is. It's a very nice knife. It's made by Schrade. Sounds German. I would say it's probably a German company. Schrade, and it has a nice loop to put your belt through. I keep it on side loop on my Bugout bag, where it doesn't move, and it's within easy reach. I can grab it and pull it out like that. And this is one of my more prized items in my Bugout bag. I would say this and my gas mask are I really do like these. And once again, I believe my wife got me this, or did the boys get it? My family got me this. It was a nice Christmas present. I also got a generator, a nice gas generator that I covered in an earlier video that I did. But yeah, so and in the spirit of one is none and two is one, I keep another knife as well in my Bugout bag. A nice Shimano flaying knife, like wicked evil sharp knife, right? And this would be more for the whereas this guy would be more of a hack and slash bush knife type deal. This would be more for flaying. If you were cutting up fish or cutting up food of some type. It's just really evil sharp. I don't even like using it, having it out unless I have to, because it is a really sharp knife. And but if the shit ever hits the fan, this is gonna be something that'll be invaluable. So I'm glad that I got it. Also, I keep a steel water canister, because where it's steel, I can use it for cooking in. If I had to boil water in it, I could boil water in it. I could cook soup in it. I could sterilize stuff in it. Whatever I had to do, this would be good, but I keep it. And this is the only water canister that I keep in my Bugout bag, aside from the 2-liter canister that I keep my ration of water in that I have. Next, I'm going to go over my my bag, my dry bag, as I like to call it. What I keep first and foremost, I keep a roll of fishing line in my dry bag for obvious reasons, for fishing. If the shit ever does hit the fan and I need to fish to feed my family, I'm prepared to do that. And being able to do that means having the proper tools at hand, and one of those tools is fishing line. So I keep a good sized roll of it. There's over 300 yards of fishing line right here, so that's more than enough, I would think, for a startup on a Bugout bag. I keep these. It's clearly just a white shoelace, but I keep them in my Bugout bag because I'm pretty sure that in a situation where you're gonna need every little thing that's gonna help you in any way, a length of rope like that is gonna be invaluable for leaving stuff hanging to dry, making clotheslines and stuff like that. Stuff like that is going to be invaluable. Next, I keep just a regular rain poncho. It's an adult size rain poncho that it's in a sealed packaging that I keep in my dry bag. So that's dry. And next, I keep an emergency camping shelter, which is it's an 8-foot camping shelter that you used to be able to get these in the Dollarama. I don't know, I'm not sure if they carry them any longer, but these are the 8-foot size camping shelter, emergency camping shelter. So if you have to bed down and you don't have a shelter, this is a reflective one. So yeah, there's that one. Next, I keep an emergency blanket as well, made by the same company. It just says Camp brand, so emergency blanket that goes along with this. So yeah, so these here, and it's made of the same reflective, I want to say mylar maybe, or some type of lightweight reflective material anyways. I keep another compass that I picked up along the way here, and this one is a full-size compass, and it's got the it's got measurements on the side for it's in centimeters and inches, as well as for measuring kilometers on maps and stuff. It's got the measurements for kilometers when you're reading a map. So a really, really, really good one to have right there with all that added to it. Yeah, so I got that one. Next thing I keep in my dry bag, and this is just if all else fails and all I'm left with is this, what's in this bag. I have my shelter, my compass, my blanket, my poncho. I have enough soup to keep myself, nourished somewhat till I can figure something out. I always keep that in case everything else gets lost. That one bag I know has some nourishment in it, right? Next, I keep another length of another shoelace wrapped up with an elastic. And as I said, there's a lot of uses for those. Next, I keep another multi-tool. Not a multi-tool, I guess. It would be more of a it's a 10-in-1 survival device. It's got a thermometer, so you can always know what the humidity is, as well as the temperature of what percentage the air is humidity, and how hot it is, how cold it is. And next, inside it has a compass, a glow-in-the-dark compass, as well as a level, so you can tell when your compass is level. It has a little dot that floats around, and when you get it in the circle, you know that your thing is level. It also has a little magnifying glass that's good for reading your maps or whatever, you just, like that. Next, it has a mirror, a signaling mirror that you can use to, if you had to, you could use it to shave a little bit, or use it for signaling, something like that, something along those lines. And what I really like about this one is when you're holding it and you're like this, you don't have to pop it open to look at your compass, which, whatever. If it's just on your belt or whatever, you can look like that, and you'll be able to tell which way whatever way that is shows up right here. So that's north that way, because when you open it up, you see north is pointing that way. But if you look at it here, it tells you that that's north by looking right there. So it saves you the agony of having to open this up and look. So, also, another thing that this has, it has this little pokey stick thing that you use to poke out these two little sections right here. There's a little section here that comes out, and there's a little section here that comes out. And what these are is, and if you remember from my last video that I did, I tried to do this and it didn't go so well. I'm going to try it again. It's a flint and steel for making a fire. So yeah. And it's going to be a little prick again. No, there we go. See? So yeah, so you make a fire with that, and that also comes in this little kit. So you always got to have a number of ways to light a fire. I have a lighter and a candle. I have this here for my flint and steel. There's another flint on that orange thing there that I have, and also in this thing, it also has one other thing as well that I want to show you real quick here, if I can get it to pop out. And you know what? It doesn't want to pop out, so I'm not going to monkey around with it right now, but there's a whistle in there. Another signaling whistle like the one that's on this. So I'll pretend that that's it, and I'll go, there's a whistle. So yeah, so that there, like I said, a hygrometer, a thermometer, and a flint and steel compass, signaling mirror, a number of things in that are invaluable to have in a shit hitting the fan scenario. Next, last thing that I keep in my dry bag, I keep a half a dozen bottle rockets. And the reason that I keep these in here is if anything was to ever happen and I was in a situation where I was by myself, or even if I had my family with me and we wanted to be found, and there's no way for me to signal anyone else, and all I have is a number of things. I know that I'll always have these and a fresh lighter, because I like these bottle rockets. They go off, they scream, and they bang like loud. Like these things go loud. They go wang, pow, and you can see them. They go up really high. So, and there's not anyone that's gonna miss that if I ever have to use these for signaling. So that's why I have those. I keep half a dozen bottle rockets and a lighter in another smaller bag inside my dry bag. So yeah, so I keep all that in a dry bag, like so. Now, that's pretty much it for my Bugout bag. The book I don't carry with me. I've read it. I keep it around for reference purposes, but that is my Bugout bag as it sits. Next, I keep, in a scenario where, you know, shit is hitting the fan, you're going to want to be able to protect yourself and your family. As I said, I carry a couple of knives. I carry bear spray, pepper spray. The next thing I carry is this. It's a crossbow that I picked up along the way. My wife actually picked it up for me. She got it for me for Christmas last year. I got this for Christmas, and what I did was I threw an aftermarket sight on it. It had just a regular iron sights that weren't, in my opinion, they weren't accurate enough for my needs. So what I did was I put an aftermarket. I put a laser sight on it, as you can see right here. I fitted the laser sight right onto the rail system that it had, the existing rail system, and you can see lasers don't lie, right? Wherever I aim that, that's where that arrow is going. A few centimeters aside, give or take, that's where that arrow is going to hit, right where that red dot is. And it is adjustable as well. The laser itself goes, it takes an Allen key, but you can adjust the size of the laser. So yeah, so I have that, and I keep a couple of arrows, graphite, alloy arrows. I didn't bother putting any field tips on them. Normally I would pick up a couple of razor tips for these, but I haven't had an opportunity to as of yet. But just as is, this is what I keep for a self-defense. Good crossbow to bang anyone that wants to come and steal my soup mix or my layer bars or my bottle rockets. You got another thing coming because you're gonna get an arrow. So that's my survival item. So I do keep a lot of camo gear, like pants. I got a lot of camo cargos. I keep a camouflage parka. I got some nice camouflage boots that I wear. So that's what I have in my Bugout bag, and by no means am I, completely prepared for anything that may arise, but I'm definitely more prepared than a lot of people, and I feel good knowing that I have this on hand at any time. So I hope this helps anyone that's thinking about starting prepping or looking into maybe putting together a Bugout bag for themselves. If this helped you in any way, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks.